Hi there, good afternoon. This is the small little town of Ukiah, California. In Mendocino County, the area where I'm from. In case you haven't followed my channel or seen recent videos, then I am currently taking a break from my world travels, visiting family here. Pardon my voice, got a little cold still. And in the process of hanging out here for the past week, then I'm recording some videos telling old travel stories. In case the title and the thumbnail image are familiar to some people, then I recorded the same video 7 years ago telling the same story, but I decided to retell it because it's a good one. Not exactly good in terms of what happens, but it is a pretty intense and crazy travel story from India. So I just decided to retell it and make a better version because I recorded it years ago with my old camera. And then I also decided to do something a little bit different, which is rather than recording it walking around in the nature, in the trees and whatnot outside of town, give you a little taste of the very classic little American town here of Ukiah. So here you have an amazing mural, Ukiah Valley, Past, Present, and Future by Lauren Sinote. www.artgoddess.com is the website for the lady who painted this. Now there is something especially cool, which I will show in just a minute. So here you can see basically the history of this area, the Native Americans who lived here, the wildlife, and then basically going through time here, the invasion of the Europeans, and then getting into the more modern era, relatively speaking, 1845, land grant to Cayetano Juarez, Alta California. So the Spanish or Mexican or whatever occupation period. And then there's another whole section up here, more 20th century, the pear pickers, suffrage, women's suffrage, 1920s. And then going further into the 20th century, and where is it? I just passed it actually, the cool thing. But quite a just fantastic mural, incredible style, so much detail, so many stories. And so here we go. Check this out. Look familiar at all? Probably not, but that is me. And my younger brother Krista there. My mom knows the artist and she was looking for inspiration for the various different parts of the mural here. And so my mom offered a photo of my brother and I to paint as part of the mural. All right, so I'm going to get started walking around here, show a bit of the back streets where it's less noisy. So, the craziest story of getting robbed on a train in India. I can tell you the exact date that this occurred because it was the same day that the Japanese tsunami and earthquake occurred, March 11th, 2011. I was in India at the end of a trip, a long trip from 2010 to 2011, in which I went to the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, and then India. So I had gone south into interior India after first starting up north, including Rishikesh, but I decided to leave a bag of things in Rishikesh because I was just, carrying too much stuff and wanted to lighten my load. So I decided to leave this like little duffel bag of stuff there and then come back and get it later. So that factors into this story because that is why I was on the train going through Delhi back to Rishikesh to grab that duffel bag and then stay there for just a couple of days and then head back down to Delhi to catch my flight out of India. So I am on the train coming from somewhere further south. It was like a long train ride that just happened to be going through Delhi on the way to Haridwar, which is where you get off the train and then catch a bus to Rishikesh. On the Ganges River, I have made lots of videos there, spent months altogether in Rishikesh on various different trips. Okay, we have construction going on there. Let's walk a different way. And so I had spent like a couple weeks or something like that in Rishikesh earlier, and this time was just making a quick stop. So I'm on the train going through the slums of Delhi, and I decide to get my camera out and watch the scenes going by and try to capture some cool scenes of whatever people. They are like full-on slums there, whatever I happen to see, because the train is going especially slow, creeping along, and it is a common thing for people to hop on or hop off of the train as it's moving through these slums, because lots of people around there. Space theater. Pretty sure that some cool stuff happens here, but I'm not exactly sure what. And so I am standing at the door watching the scenes go by with my camera around my neck, just kind of observing things, waiting to see if anything especially interesting happens, to grab my camera and take a picture or shoot a video. As the train is going along, moving this way, then these two young guys, like maybe, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, are walking this way, and one of the boys, I notice, looks at the other guy. He's got another mural here. Let's take a look. One of them like motions to his friend or whatever and points up in the direction of the train, basically at me. And I think that he is saying, I'm gonna hop on the train, see you later. As you can see, not nearly as adept artistry as the other mural. And so the kid goes to jump up onto the train, and what happens next is one of the craziest experiences of my traveling adventures, which is that he immediately grabs my camera strap and tries to yank my camera off of my neck, not realizing that a camera strap is a pretty strong thing. And so I basically sort of dig in and make sure that I'm not going to fall off the train. This all occurs, very quickly. And so we're both standing right at the door. I guess that I am like on the train level, and he is maybe on the little footstep, just like 6 inches below or whatever that, or maybe he was actually up on the train level as well. Anyways, he just like starts like yanking hard on the camera strap, trying to break the strap and then, obviously grab the camera and run off with it. But it doesn't work. It is a very strong camera strap, and so he gives up after just, whatever, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, something like that. Jumps out of the train onto the ground, and I'm okay. I yell after him, an expletive, I'll just say. I am shaken afterwards, but I'm unharmed, camera not hurt or anything. So that is the end of the story as far as what happened to me. A scary experience, but not the end of the world. It was over in a flash, and I was fine. But that is not the end of this video, or the end of the crazy train robbery experiences, because I didn't actually get robbed. It was an attempted robbery. The rest of the story occurs later. And so the reason that I know that this occurred on March 11th, 2011, is because after I arrived in Haridwar, I stayed there for the night. So I walked from the train station over to a hotel and booked it, and on the TV screen were all of these horrendous images of the tsunami and the earthquake that were, just being broadcast around the world. It had just happened. That was when I found out about it. I hadn't heard about it yet on the train. When I got to the hotel, then I just saw it on the TV there and was like, whoa, what the heck just happened? So I stay there for the night in Haridwar and then take the 40-minute bus ride up to Rishikesh, stay there for the next few days. I'm here in Rishikesh on the Ganges River, just wrapping up my last few days of my trip. I just spent the last night here. I'm just leaving. I'm all packed up. Got my my backpack here. All my stuff there. And I'm catching a bus to Haridwar. So I'll hop on a little rickshaw into the town of Rishikesh, which is about 10-15 minutes away from here. Hop on another bus to Haridwar. And then I'll stay there for the night and catch a train from there in the morning back to Delhi. And then the next day, I'm on a flight to San Francisco. Soaking up Rishikesh for one last time here. It's definitely been an amazing trip. 4 months in India, 3 weeks in the Philippines, 10 days in Malaysia, and 4 days in Singapore. I get on that train and spend the next few hours getting into Delhi. We are in the same general area, once again, going through the slums of Delhi. And the train is going slowly. Standing by the door is a woman talking with a couple of other people who I think might have been French. Not exactly sure, but that is kind of what vaguely comes to mind, having been sitting there on the train, and then she was like talking with people while sitting somewhere nearby to me. But anyways, she was a foreigner, obviously, who was most likely heading back to catch a flight as well. Not sure. I'm going to walk up to the park up this way. So she is standing there also by the window, and she has a purse under her arm. And it's obvious that she is trying to keep the purse safe as opposed to leaving it back at her seat. And so that is probably why she has it under her arm with her, not with all the other baggage, as she was thinking, I want to make sure I have this thing close to me. Unfortunately, that was a very tragic mistake. So as they're standing there talking, all of a sudden I hear like a cry go up. I see this quick flurry of action. I think that I even saw it happen very quickly. Another boy jumped up onto the train and grabbed the purse from under her arm and then was off. And I remember hearing her say, "My passport," that her passport was in there. Very likely all the important stuff, probably her wallet, passport, other ID, etc., was in that little purse. And it is gone. So the story doesn't end there, unfortunately, because the train stops right around that same time. Maybe it was stopped at that point, but it was moving slowly and then stopped. And the woman decides to get off the train and go try to find the boy and get her purse back. She was with somebody else, I think maybe a local Indian, because her and another guy go together and basically just like disappear into the slum, expecting to be able to find this little boy, like in this, busy, populated slum area. Just a absolute lost cause mission. But they just disappear. The train is stationary for quite a while, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. But they don't come back, and the train starts moving. And so this is what makes it such an insane story, to imagine the situation that this lady ended up in, both as a result of, the criminal activity of somebody else, but also her bad decision to try to go find it. And so the train starts moving and they haven't come back. Her luggage is still there. She was sitting just a couple of, compartments away from me. Okay, maybe I'll abandon the mission to get to the park and start walking back. But as you can see, just a classic, typical American small town here. And so we continue moving on the train and get to the Delhi train station. The train is not stopping there. I mean, it stops temporarily, but it is going to keep on going from there. And so some people from the train, I believe, get her bags, and they're going to take it to the Delhi station, the luggage storage place or whatever, so that hopefully she can come back and get her luggage at least. And then I, continue on my way and go find my hotel and stuff. And so I have no idea what happened after that, but it is the thought of the horrible situation she would have been in at that point of, first of all, being in a slum now. At least she was with that other guy, but she has no money, no ID, obviously. Hopefully the other guy, at least had a little cash on him. Once they get out of the slum, then she must have been in this horrible situation of, first of all, she has to go find her luggage. And then now her passport is gone. Very likely, her cash and credit cards and debit cards and whatnot. And so she was probably stuck in this just horrendous situation of maybe missed her flight, now has to go to the embassy, get her passport, deal with banks, get new bank cards sent to her, whatever. I can't imagine what it might have cost if she had to buy another flight and stay in Delhi for who knows how much longer, having to deal with all that. So at least, nobody hurt. But as far as a robbery goes, then, it doesn't get much worse than that. Of not only losing your important stuff in your purse, who knows how much money, what other valuables, jewelry, etc. could have been in there, but also just the tremendous hassle of losing your passport and everything that will go along with having to get that replaced, and quite possibly missing a flight, etc. So my story, as it turns out, was the lucky one. I would love to be able to reconnect with that lady and find out, what happened, how did you deal with it? That would be a very interesting interview to conduct and find out, how did it all go from there? How did you get out of the slum? How did you get your luggage? Did you find your luggage? I mean, just a absolute traveler's nightmare. One of the craziest stories from my traveling experiences anyways. All right, that's it for now. Talk to you later. More coming sometime soon. One more mural here. Pretty interesting one. Kind of esoteric, I don't know, kind of dark themed, like an angel reaching down. Woman coming out of water. And then a bunch of symbols.